You've probably heard a lot of rules about caring for Christmas cactus, but some of these rules don't really match up with how these beautiful plants grow. So today we're going to clear up a few common myths about growing Christmas cactus, from watering to blooming to whether or not your Christmas cactus is even really a Christmas cactus. So let's dive in. One of the first myths is that Christmas cactus are toxic, in that pets or kids, should they chomp on one of these leaves or branches, might get sick. Not true. Don't worry about that one. Another one is that, well, they're all the same. They're basically all the same. And that's not true either. As a matter of fact, there's basically three kinds. You've got Christmas cactus and Thanksgiving cactus and Easter cactus, or some people call spring cactus. Now, the way you tell the difference is that Christmas cactus have more rounded, I call them paddles, leaf sections or branch sections. They're more rounded. And a Thanksgiving cactus, like what you see here, they have obvious teeth, and then they also grow in more of an upright fashion and then droop over. Whereas a Christmas cactus grow in sort of these cascades of beautiful blossoms. Now, the spring cactus or the Easter cactus, that's completely different, and they bloom more in the spring, and they have completely rounded leaf sections. Now, thing is, though, both of these cactus are Thanksgiving cactus because they both have, the spiky parts, and that's how you really tell the difference. And they have more of an upright and reaching out, sort of a crab claw kind of growing pattern, I should say. Now, it's pretty rare that you're going to have a bona fide Christmas cactus because they're a little more tender to ship, and so a lot of growers don't have them on the commercial market, whereas Thanksgiving cactus are much more sturdy and thick, and they can handle the shipping and handling. Here's another myth, is that Christmas cactus or Thanksgiving cactus are actually cactus, like a desert plant, and they're not. These gorgeous plants actually originate or grow in the tropical forest of Brazil, and they live in the crux, I should say, or between the branches like this, and they live in dappled sunlight and in kind of very moist conditions, lots of rainforest rain and so on. So that's why Christmas cactus really don't like hot and dry conditions. And it might also be that your house is particularly warm and has a dry heat. So that's one thing to be aware of. And so Christmas cactus really prefer slightly cooler temperatures. Indeed, it's the light and temperature that really triggers them to bloom. Another myth is that Christmas cactus, because one might think that they live in the desert or like those kind of conditions, that you don't have to water them. And it absolutely breaks my heart when I see Christmas cactus that are sort of well ignored, and they kind of look all withered and wilted. Oh, it just breaks my heart. So one thing you need to do is keep them generally like evenly moist, I should say. So if you were to poke your finger into the soil and the top inch or so is dry, then it's time to water. Yes. Some sources say to cut back on the watering after they're done blooming. I'm not so sure about that. I think it's important to keep them evenly moist, at least a little moist, and don't allow them to dry out. Here's another myth. Christmas cactus always bloom on schedule, like at Christmas. Not true. Easter cactus bloom like in the spring, like I said, and Thanksgiving cactus are more October to mid-November. And the real Christmas cactus, yes, they bloom more in December. So I'll give you that, right? And one more thing about watering is that because Christmas cactus originate in the tropics, they're an epiphyte. You know, epiphyte means on top of, and phyte means plant. So an epiphyte just kind of nestles in around the tree branches and just uses that as sort of a place to sit. Whereas, like a parasitic plant, they actually feed off the host plant, and epiphytes don't. So they're kind of a nice plant to have around. So anyway, some sources will say you don't have to bother misting them with water, and I totally disagree. I like to emulate as much as possible a plant's original growing conditions. So oftentimes I will just grab my sprayer, my mister like this, and just go around and give them a mist. And sometimes when they're done blooming, I will actually take them into my shower and give them a nice misty shower and let them sit there for a while. It's good for watering, but it also helps them, kind of get clean, because there's dust in the air that settles on the plants, and so I like to kind of give them a nice cleaning, Christmas cactus, they can surprise us, right? But once you understand where they come from and what they really need, they're some of the easiest and most, how should I say, generous houseplants you can grow. So take care of your beautiful plants, keep your hands in the dirt and your eyes on the stars. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!